afternoon. What I'm going to focus on is today marketing the intangibles. I think it's a very interesting topic because I've actually moved from marketing tangibles to marketing intangibles. And I put this presentation together actually capturing everything that I have learned over the last 2 years that I've been with Axis Bank. And I've tried to draw parallels between what I saw in FMCG and what I'm seeing now, and the difference between marketing tangibles and intangibles. Looking at the dictionary definition of what tangible and what intangible means. So obviously tangible is something that you can touch, you can feel. Intangible is something that you cannot touch or feel. And when we look at it in terms of industries, we typically see things like soap, shampoo, beverages, apparels, everything that you can touch, feel, take home away in a bag are tangible products. Things that are just, fixed deposits, which you can never see, right? Or an airline where you go through an experience, but you don't take the plane home. Or a hotel where you just sort of spend the night and then you get back are pretty much all intangible industries. There's a big difference in the way consumers approach these products. So if you look at tangibles, they'll see something on television, they will go to a shop, they will see a packaging on the shelf, they will buy it, and after that they'll tell their friends whether they liked it or they're not. That's typically the purchase pathway in a tangible product purchase. So actually it's not very difficult, I would say, because there are very few touch points. And a marketing person who's handling tangible marketing would typically focus on A, creating a good product, B, putting it in even greater looking packaging because the thing must catch your eye and attract your attention, making good clutter-breaking advertising to put on television, and the distribution guy will help them by making sure that this product is available at the shop. Again, you start off by seeing an ad, and then you basically decide कि ये bank अच्छा है कि ये bank अच्छा नहीं है. Do I want to bank with these guys or I don't? The second thing then you do is you do some research. So immediately if you want something, and all of us would have done it, when we want a home loan or we want a credit card or we want a personal loan, what do? The first thing you do is, Google pe jaake dekhte hain. So immediately you'll go and, say home loan, and some 5 comparisons will show up, what is the interest rate here, there, etc. But you'd never go and Google for, say, detergent powder. Okay, let me see which detergent powder is the best. You're not going to do that. But we do a lot of research online for financial services. The next thing you do is you go to the branch. And unlike FMCG, the banks own the branch. Okay, intangibles, you hardly ever own the shop. But here you own the shop, so that's one big difference. And when you stand in a neighborhood, and any neighborhood worth its money, you'll find all the branches there, all banks. So you'll go, you'll probably find them all in a line, ICICI, HDFC, SBI, Axis Bank, etc. You'll find all of them. You can't walk into all of them, right? So you decide, yeah, ye 2-3 अच्छे लग रहे हैं, I'll walk into these 2-3 branches. So how the branch looks suddenly becomes very important. If your branch has a grill and a chain on the entrance, it's very unlikely that you'll want to go into it. But if it sort of looks clean, looks attractive, you can see inside what's happening, you're probably likely to walk into it. Then you have to deal with people. So suddenly there is somebody here who is from that, from that company, and everything that person says or does can make or break the brand. So you can say, yaar, ad to badi achhi thi, but this guy knows nothing. Or you can say the branch looks very nice, but people inside it don't know anything. Or you can say the ad was great, the branch looked great, and actually the people also knew what they were talking about, right? So the person becomes a very important part of the product delivery. And then, of course, there is a product. So, I've put credit cards here. And then if you're happy, you'll talk about it. And if you're not happy, you'll talk about it even more. Okay, so party time conversation is never, ye maine detergent powder kharida and, my shirts didn't clean properly. But if you take a home loan and you're not satisfied, or you took a flight which was delayed, or you went to a hotel which had bed bugs, you'll talk about it and tell everybody at the party. Yeah, so intangible marketing is actually a completely different ball game from tangible marketing. So the focus areas that, therefore, for any marketer, in the case of tangibles, would be advertising. It takes up a large part of their time. The packaging, and God knows how much money we put into packaging to make something look good. Usually in tangible products, the cost of packaging is more than the cost of the product. And of course, there's a product, so the formulation, etc. But the fact is that a soap is a soap is a soap. It's just colored differently, packaged differently, scented differently, and priced differently. That's really what it is. Whereas in intangibles, there's advertising to focus on, there is branch, how should your branch look or how should your touch point look is an important area for you to focus on. People becomes very important. I mean, we are the third largest private sector bank, and we have 30,000 employees on our rolls. And I'm not talking about outsourced staff, which is additional 10, 15,000. Packaging is important here as well, and I'll explain to you why. Of course, the product is important. And finally, online search, online research is again a very important thing for marketers to focus on. And therefore, when you look at the marketing monies, while intangibles, a lot of it goes behind the advertising, you'll not find that in intangibles, because there are many more buckets to divide your money up in, so you'll find a little bit going into each and every bucket. So let me just start off on how does this translate in terms of marketing mix. So if you're a marketing manager, brand manager, sitting and working in a financial industry or any service industry, you'd pretty much have all these things to deliver. And I'll talk about one thing each, and I'll come to the advertising right at the end, and for a reason. I think the starting point in financial services or in other intangible industries is not the advertising. Actually, it's the end point. It's not the starting point. So the starting point can be many. I'll start with online marketing. Online marketing has actually become very important for intangibles just because people spend a lot of time searching and researching products online before they buy them. So if you're traveling, you would have done enough research to fix a place to stay, a hotel, a airline, etc. You spend a lot of time. And while we do search engine marketing and SEO, SEM, which basically either drives awareness or helps in some sort of evaluation, social media really kicks in for adoption and loyalty. So you can read really great reviews from other people, but if your friend tells you that that's a good place to stay, or this is a good car to take, or this is a good home loan to take, then suddenly your engagement and adoption of that product shoots up dramatically. So that's really the advantage. And for those of you on Facebook, I'm sure you all the time are looking at what your friends are doing and already saying, those guys went there. I also want to go to that place because unki photo se to lag raha tha they had a great time. Right? So we are constantly actually getting more convinced about stuff when our friends are doing it rather than when we are just reading about it online from some strangers. So online search, of course, is extremely important for news, for shopping, for new launches. We are constantly, people are constantly doing search. You read online content, you search, then you can see an ad on at the same time. So you click on it, you go to the website, you do a little more research there, you come back, and this process goes on. But data shows that almost 65% of people do online research before they buy a financial product. Yeah, so before you open a savings account, before you buy a credit card, home loan, anything, people are actually spending time online. So these are various properties or places that a marketer would be to make sure that their brand is salient and shows up at the appropriate time when somebody is doing research for you. Social media, of course, has become a new thing on top of all this. It's not substituted anything. You still have to do your advertising. You still have to do your SEO, SEM, SMM. But now you have to do one more thing, and that's actually social media marketing. So it does not replace the traditional web, but it does humanize the organization because suddenly now you are accepting a company or a brand as your friend. And that's a big step for a consumer to do. For somebody to say, okay, I like this and I will see whatever these guys post every day on my page, in my space, is actually a big, a big change or a big step or a big commitment that the consumer is making to you. And therefore, as a marketer, you owe yourselves to not betray that responsibility and make sure that you do justice to the trust put by the consumers in you. Why is social media important? You can look at the statistics, but over 85% people believe that social media does have an impact on their purchase decisions. And like I said, because it comes from people because recommendations come from people it has all the more impact than just random search. We've done some stuff in the past. We actually have one of the highest fan following on social media amongst the banks. We have almost 5.5 lakh followers on Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel, which is a dedicated YouTube channel where we showcase all our advertising and our communication. And what we like to do, because consumers are not dying to listen to your products on social media. They don't want to know कि अच्छा तुमने 10% interest का कुछ नया home loan निकाला है या कोई और card तुम दे रहे हो या कोई AQB जिसमें 10,000 है और 50,000 नहीं है. They're not interested in that. So you have to actually take your messaging and put it across to the customer in a more engaging way. So one of the things that we did was we did a Meri Zindagi Ka Safar application at the same time that we launched our new advertising campaign, which allowed consumers to map how many places they had lived in and how much distance they had traveled over the course of their lives. Or it allowed people to put up photographs and actually create a movie out of their own photographs, saying that this is what this is my life in a picture. Okay, so those are the kind of things that one needs to do on social media to actually stay engaged and relevant. You have to remember that you're one click away from being removed from the consumer's list. One click away. The day they think you're a pain and you're always bombarding them with stuff, they will just unlike you. That's what they'll do. Yeah, so it's important, but it comes with a lot of responsibility. The second thing, like I mentioned earlier, was that they come to the branch. Yeah, so it's very, very important for you to figure out how your branches look. Frankly, our neighborhood kirana has become a supermarket, our dhabas have become food courts, our cinema halls have become multiplexes, but many branches still look like the branches of our childhood. And I think consumers are now ready for a change, and they are not going to accept retail environments which are not geared towards them, which are not designed to cater to customers, because they've got used to being pampered everywhere else where they go. So some of the key principles that we've recently redesigned our branches. So many of the old branches you'll find are still in the old format because it's a Herculean task to actually renovate all of them. But all new branches that we've opened in the last 6 to 9 months have been in a new layout, and I'll just share some pictures about them. But what we tried to do was we tried to say, from the external fascia, when I see a branch from outside, I should want to go into it. That was our first aim, that it should look attractive. It should look appealing. It should appeal to the primal, the subconscious brain of the person saying, yaar, ye jagah achhi lag rahi hai. I will walk into it.